The only purpose I'm making this video is for you guys to be inspired and hopefully start the carnivore diet or some type of animal-based approach in order for you to heal all of your health issues that are just persisting, and you've realized like the medical establishment won't help you with your issues, just as I realized. I'm not making this video to, show off or anything. I really don't care about vanity and stuff. I really just want to inspire people because I know when I was suffering, the only light that I saw at the end of the tunnel was seeing transformation videos just like this. So yeah, that's basically my intention of the video. Now, with that out of the way, I want to preface something. Preface something. You guys get my point. I should have made this video 3 years ago because it was in 2022 that I went through my transformation. However, I don't know why I didn't do that. So it's 3 years overdue. Just letting you guys know. But enough yapping, and let's talk about my health journey with the carnivore diet. Before we skip to the next slide, however, I just want to talk about the two pictures here. So the one on the left, the one that's below me, you guys can see I'm not looking really healthy. I am overweight. I have dark eye circles, acne, and I also had two diseases, which we will be talking about in a couple of minutes. And yeah, my life was just shit. My relationship had also just ended, a relationship of 4 years. So I was just very very depressed, honestly. And on the right, it's a picture of me where I am 27 years old. And by the way, the picture down below is I believe I was 23 at the time, or 24. I can't really recall. Nevertheless, my point here is that on the picture on the right, 27, 3 or 4 years older, I look younger, I look more vibrant, I look way more healthy. And that's the goal you guys should strive to achieve as well. But yeah, let's begin. So my story actually begins in my youth, or my adolescent years, basically. And to be more precise, it started around the ages of I want to say 15 to 16, when I was in high school. Now, as you guys can see on these pictures, I was not the strongest, the most handsome, or the most muscular guy that you've seen. Obviously, I weighed 56 kilos when I was 16 years old, and even 17 years old, which is pretty insane. Like, if you guys think about that, it's insane. So as usual, if you weigh that much, so to speak, you will normally be the weakest link. I was very malnourished. I was scrawny. I was short. I was like by far the shortest and scrawniest guy at the school, like without a doubt. I would even go as far to say maybe in my whole city, like at least top five. Not even kidding. I noticed in a very young age I used to have brain fog and zero energy. Now, the brain fog could be for several factors. It could be because I just lived a unhealthy lifestyle, or it could be because I didn't enjoy school. I didn't really enjoy any of the subjects, which most kids or most people overall can agree with. But I believe a lot of the brain fog and the zero energy was because of diet, as is my body progression and how I was underdeveloped as a 16-year-old kid. Because going through puberty, I saw most of my friends and most guys at school actually developing and becoming the men they were supposed to become. Whereas I had gone through puberty at this stage. I didn't really evolve much. Like in these pictures, I am 15, 16, and 17, around those ages. And I don't look like a normal 16 or 17-year-old kid should. So, what this led to, generally speaking, was no respect from guys, and no attention and no attraction from women. And I was going through puberty, and my hormones were all over the place. So of course I wanted to have a girlfriend. And the thing with not getting respect from guys and not having a girlfriend is that those two things often go hand in hand. Like, they can intertwine, right? Because you not getting respect from other guys is usually a bad social proof, and women love social proof. Like, this is a red pill. I'm not going to talk about red pill in the video, but I just want to mention that if you don't have any social proof, guys, forget about women. I'm dead ass. So, what this led me to was the gym, because I thought if I gained muscle, I would finally be able to attract the woman of my dreams. I would finally be able to get respect from men, and I would finally become um, the man that women wanted and the man that men wanted to be, basically. And this is my expectations. I thought going to the gym equals me getting a bunch of women. Cap. That's not how it goes. The reality is, it's mostly men coming up to you, giving you compliments. Now, with that being said, women do appreciate your body if you're going to the gym. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I've gotten tons of compliments on my body, at least the most like recent 3 years when I went through my transformation. But this is just a joke. Like, of course, women appreciate and love a good physique, but it's mostly men. You will mostly have male followers, you'll mostly have male companions coming up to you and giving you compliments and whatnot. But yeah, I started going to the gym. I thought that this would be the solution. And if I may say so myself, my bulk journey was one of the most insane ones ever. When I started, as I mentioned, I was 56 kilos at 16 years old. 2 years later, I went up to 102 kilos. So I almost doubled my weight, guys. I almost doubled my weight. And some people might say, "Oh, this like weight gain isn't that impressive and whatnot." But guys, remember, I was a scrawny kid. Like, I was so malnourished. I had all the odds against me, honestly. I didn't take any performance enhancing drugs or whatnot. I only did it in a natural way. And I didn't even dirty bulk all the way. I actually started dirty bulking in, let's see, maybe from the weight from 90 kilos up to 102 kilos, because that was very hard. I feel like the barrier from 80 to 90 was hard as shit, but 90 to 100 was a different ball game. However, let's talk about the journey itself. So the diet wasn't that toxic, to be quite honest. And what I mean when I say it was not that toxic, I mean it wasn't junk food. But as we know now, or if you follow me, you should know that the balanced approach, or the standard American, standard European diet, is still toxic and shit. Like, junk food is obviously fucking shit, but the standard European and standard American diet is also shit, because you're eating mostly anti-nutrients from plants. Okay, most diets out there are actually plant based. Whether we want to accept that or not, that is the truth. You don't have much meat to most diets. You have like a bit of lean protein, and even then, you're consuming mostly maybe 5% ground beef or lean chicken breast. It's not really the most optimal animal food sources. And I also took a lot of supplements, or not a lot, to be quite honest. I took the usual ones. I started off with protein powder, then I bought some creatine, and then pre workout. By the end of this, I was just like drinking pre workout and taking some creatine. I didn't take any protein powder because I realized it messes up the gut, which we will talk about in a minute. But it's also just a waste of money, to be honest. Like, you should just get it from real food. Now, after these years, so by the end of 2018, my gut issues started to creep up. And this was such things as like bloating, gas. I had, I guess you could say, like a mild form of IBS. I went to the bathroom maybe 3 to 6 times a day. I didn't have like loose stools or like weird bowel movements in that sense, but it was starting to creep up. And around this time, I was clueless. Like, I thought it was normal because everybody was talking about how when you're bulking, you're gonna have a messed up gut. That's just how it is. But yeah, as I said, I was kind of just listening to the mainstream narrative. Oh, it's normal, this and that. And everybody was talking about how they also experienced the same shit. So I didn't mind it. Looking back now, I can understand why we were bloated, because of the protein powders, the oatmeal, the chicken, rice, and broccoli. All these like bland foods which really has no nutrients and just inflame the gut. So after these years, when 2019 started, the gut issues just got worse, and I actually started to see blood in my stools, and it wasn't a tiny amount. It was actually pretty much. I want to show you guys pictures of it, but I thought maybe that's not good for YouTube and whatnot. Maybe they will censor it. I'm not sure, but I might do that in the future. But I can just explain it vividly. So, when you have, let me just show this. When you have a nosebleed, right? I have a paper here to show you guys. When you have a nosebleed, you can usually, blow your nose, and then the blood comes onto this place, and it's kind of a splash, right? It's a big surface area of blood. That's how it looked every time I was in the bathroom and I wiped. Honestly, I know that might be too much information, but I'm giving out this advice so people can realize how damaged my gut was, and I was able to heal, which means you guys will also be able to heal. And at this time, I didn't really know why I was bleeding. I thought it was hemorrhoids. So what I did was I went uh, to the hospital to do a health check. Now at the hospital, I met a doctor, and we talked. She took some blood tests. Everything looked normal because this was only in the beginning, so I didn't have that messed up blood work. Right later on, we she made a physical exam, which means she basically put a finger inside of my rectum, and no, it did not feel nice whatsoever. It was horrible, kind of traumatized till this day. But yeah, she said, oh, she didn't feel anything special. So she didn't see any reason to progress the um, what do you call it? Found it. Examination. Oh my god, I just said the word before. I said physical examination, guys. Jesus, guys, I've been up for like 16 hours or so. That's why probably. Nevertheless, she didn't want to proceed the physical examination because she thought, I'm young because I was like 21 at this time, 20 or 21, I can't really remember. No, sorry, yeah, 20. She didn't want to progress because she thought that I'm too young to have any issues. I'm very young. I should be healthy. And I thought to myself, well, she's a doctor, so she knows best. What happened then was I went back home, and the symptoms just got worse. So after like a month, I think I went back, and she was like, "Okay, you know what? Maybe it's hemorrhoids. Take this medication. Try it out for 2 weeks. If it doesn't work, come back." Tried it out for 2 weeks. Didn't work at all. The bleeding just got worse. Called them back. They said, okay, come in. And this time I was actually supposed to do a what's called, so you have a thing called colonoscopy, which is basically you get a camera shoved up your rectum, and they basically check your large intestine. They can even go all the way up to the small intestine, I believe. But yeah, I didn't do that, and I wasn't supposed to do that at this time. I was supposed to do something else. I believe it's called rectoscopy. I'm not sure. I might butcher the word because I'm translating from Swedish right now. But it's basically, so colonoscopy is where you check all of the large intestine, right? Um, Rectoscopy, or the thing I'm trying to explain to you guys, is only when you check. I think it's like 20 centimeters or something. It's not so much, right? It's only the ending part, so to speak, of the large intestine, because they thought that my inflammation was present there. So I was supposed to do that. I went to the hospital, and I was getting ready and everything, because one day before you got to prepare. Like you can't eat food, you can't eat fiber, you got to take some drinks, so some laxatives. Like you got to be clean, right? Now after this, I went to the hospital. I was all ready, as I mentioned, and the doctor came, like my doctor, and her boss came, right? Like he was a specialist, so to speak. And he looked at me and he said, "Man, like you're too young. Like it doesn't make sense that you would have any type of gut issues, or any type of severe gut disease." He said explicitly that he believes it's just hemorrhoids and it's being stubborn, so I should maybe up the dose or take another stronger medication. So that's what we did. I went home. I didn't do any type of examination. I went home, and uh, the story basically kind of ends there, because I was tired of just going there and not getting any answers. And this is a common thing that most people realize. Like, you're never going to get the help you need from the hospital. Honestly, I love all the people working in the hospital. I've always been treated very, very good. Like, they are very therapeutic, and they actually want to help you. However, the system is so rigged, the system is so messed up overall. Like, they're so stressed because they have so many patients coming in, that they can't really focus on each and every one, which I get. Like, the system itself is rigged. As I say, I'm not blaming the doctors or the workers there, but yeah, I was tired of it, so I didn't contact them again, even though my symptoms got worse. Now, after maybe a month or so, after this event that I just described, I started to notice mental health issues. And guys, I have never in my life, up until this point, like the point I'm talking about in the story, experienced mental health. Like, even when I was a kid, I wasn't really bullied, but I was scrawny, I was malnourished, as I said. I would get kind of sad, but I wasn't really depressed. Like I always was this guy that had a ton of like energy, and I was always happy. Like I always had a smile on my face. I could always joke with people. But then, as I mentioned, I got severe mental health issues, and it was crazy because I remember vividly they came overnight. I was standing in my kitchen cooking up some food, and I just felt heavy. And no, I didn't feel heavy because I was fat as shit, as you guys can see. I felt heavy because I was basically I felt like I was a burden. I can't really explain it, but you guys that have experienced some type of depression or anxiety, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's not something tangible. Like you can't really put a finger on the feeling, but when you tend to describe it to people that have experienced the same thing, I think we all can relate to each other. But I just felt like 15 kilos heavier, and I thought to myself, that's weird, but maybe it's because of this or that, and I didn't really think much about it. So I went to sleep. The next morning, I still felt like shit. I still had anxiety. I still was depressed. I had like OCD. And this progressively, day by day, just got worse. Honestly, like day by day, my symptoms of my mental health just got worse. And at this time, I was like, okay, my gut issues are not getting resolved, and I'm not getting any help with them. However, with this mental health thing, I need help because I couldn't sleep. I had so much anxiety that I couldn't eat. Like my appetite was gone. I felt like puking all the time. Um, and like I remember if I went to sleep, I would wake up like after 2 or 3 hours with a headache because my anxiety and depression was so strong. Like I remember most nights I was just waking up and I kind of forgot about myself. Like I forgot who I was quite literally because I think my mind and my body was so stressed that my cortisol was so jacked up, bro. So I think I was in a fight or flight mode, and my brain maybe prioritize other things than to remember like this normal basic things, which is weird. So what I do is okay. Sorry. What I think is I need to contact the hospital again because this is not normal, like at all. This is something that they have to check up on and maybe reevaluate. So I contact the hospital, and when I go there, they are very, very much, you know, the how can I explain this? The psychiatric medicine, if that's how you say it, are very behind when it comes to mental health. They think that mental health is 100% a brain issue, like you have something wrong with your head. I don't believe that. I think it's 99% gut and brain axis or biochemical state, like maybe you have a messed up biochemical state. So for me now, looking at this problem, I can see that most people suffering from these diseases actually just have a messed up gut and also messed up biochemistry because it's in the gut that your biochemistry is kind of um, created, so to speak. Like most of your feel good, happy hormones, serotonin, dopamine, and whatnot, they're actually produced in the gut. And if you have a messed up gut, your brain will also be all jacked up. So when I went there, I actually told them about this. I was like, look, I've been looking into the gut and brain axis because I knew that I'm not gonna get the help I need unless I'm actually well read, well studied. So I went there and I told them about this thing, and they didn't laugh at me, but they wasn't accepting of the fact that this might be a gut issue. And it's so sad because I could have saved so much time, energy, and years, like quite literally most of my 20, I'm 27 right now, 20 to 24 wasted, like 4 years wasted just because of this, right? And as I said earlier on, because they were doctors, I trusted them. Like, who am I? I'm just a guy. I just read some article on the internet. Of course, they're not going to listen to me. And of course, I see myself as lower, at least if you compare it to the doctors, right? So, what happened at this point in time was that they just put me on antidepressant medications, or actually, it wasn't even antidepressants. It was antipsychosis medication because my symptoms were so weird. They couldn't really pinpoint exactly what it was. So what they did was, okay, since you have like a mixture of symptoms, we can't really say that it's 100% anxiety or if it's 100% depression. So we'll give you this. because maybe you're bipolar. Like they said so many things, bro. Like it was in- crazy. They were just guessing at this point, which is, as I mentioned, crazy. So after this whole thing, my life was pretty much shit. Like honestly, my life these years was like I was in coma because I literally cannot remember anything. Like of course, I can remember because it's still me. But my point is, I was a zombie. First and foremost, the medication is known to give you like metabolic disease and just mess you up because you basically become a zombie. So many people report feeling like soulless and you just lose your spark. You basically like imagine me being vibrant, having color all over myself, and then starting the antipsychosis medication and just becoming gray, black, white, like just simple colors and boring. I didn't have any life in me. I didn't have drive, motivation, um, and yeah. I mean, just look at the pictures. Like, guys, do I look healthy? Like acne in at the ages of 20, 22. It's weird. Like you should not have acne at those ages. And at these instances, as you guys can see, uh, the skin issues appeared out of nowhere, like quite literally. And my first, this is funny. My first initial thought was, okay, maybe I have some type of hormone imbalance, and I thought I had high testosterone. Guys, look at these pictures. How could I even think that I had high testosterone in these pictures? It's insane. Honestly, it's crazy. So what happens is I call up my doctor at the psychiatry, the one who prescribed me with the antipsychosis medication, and I tell her about this issue that I'm having with my skin, and she's like, "Okay, but what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Look, I'm not sure about this, but I think it might have to do with high testosterone. So could you maybe provide me with a blood test?" She said, "Yes, of course." So maybe like 2 days later, I can go there and do a blood test. I do a blood test, and the results come back, and she calls me up like immediately, bro. And the thing is, in Sweden, they usually call you back after like a week, but this was after like 1 or 2 days after me taking the test, which is insane. So I knew something would be off. She calls me and asks if I'm all right, and I'm like, yeah, of course. And she says, no, are you actually all right? Like, you know, do you feel good? Do you have any symptoms? And at this point, I'm kind of weirded out. I'm asking her like, is something wrong with the results? And she's like, yeah, you're anemic. Swear to God, I did not know what anemic meant. So I was like, yo, that sounds dope. She's like, no, it's not something that sounds dope. It's not something you should be proud of. Anemic means you don't have enough blood. You don't have enough hemoglobin. A man should not have be anemic. Sorry. So I'm just there at the phone and I'm thinking to myself, oh damn, like it has to be the gut, right? And she looks through my, here in Sweden you have basically I assume you could call it some type of journal in at the hospital. So you have all your visits, and then the doctor that you met at that time can basically just take notes of the appointment, and yeah, basically just note down what you guys spoke about. So at those years before when I went because of my gut issues, they had actually noted down all of my issues with my gut. So she basically read my journal, and she understood that my anemia had to do with the gut issues, right? So after this, she booked another hospital visit to another department, which is the gut gastroenterologist department. And at this time, I went through a colonoscopy. So this was actually 3 or 4 years after my first initial contact with them because of my gut issues. So remember, 4 years wasted. So I literally wasted from the ages of 18 to 24 just being clueless, not knowing what the fuck was wrong with me, not knowing if I had gut issues, if I had mental health issues, just because of the doctors, honestly, or just because of the medical establishment overall. So apparently I have ulcerative colitis. What the fuck? And I just want to show you guys. These are the type of medications you take on yeah, when you have gut issues. So on the left one, biologics, it's a injection with God knows who, like what the fuck is in those things. Honestly, These biologics, they make your immune system suppress. So they literally make you more lethargic, they make you more fatigued. And this is because they think that autoimmune issues basically means that your immune system attacks itself. But that's not how it is. Like, modern medicine is so behind. Like, autoimmunity doesn't mean that your body is confused and is attacking your healthy cells. It means that something is wrong in your body, and your body in your like cells and whatnot are acting accordingly. Like, they are trying to help you. Your body would never do something stupid to kill itself. Like, your body wants to live as well. Every organ, every cell in your body runs on a program. It's not like they have some higher intelligence or consciousness. They are literally just running on programs. It's basically, if you're going to summarize it, it's input and output. You give it, a message, it's going to take that message in and reply. But it's not going to reply in some artificial higher up consciousness way. It's going to reply according to the program, if that makes sense. Uh, the video on the right is me getting iron infusions. Iron infusions is what people get when you have anemia, when you're anemic, which I was. So this was actually pretty common for me. Yeah, I went there several times, and I got these infusions, which was horrible, honestly. And the thing with my gut issues were that they never got better. Like, I was on the strongest possible medication for months, and it didn't do anything. Like, it worked maybe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then no, it didn't work. My bleeding came back, my gut issues came back, and yeah, quite honestly, it was a shit show. It even became like so severe that before I started the carnivore diet back in May of 2022, exactly a month before, so April 2022, they told me that, okay, your gut is messed up, no medication is working. We are going to give you this last round of medication. If that doesn't work, we're going to have to surgically remove your colon, because all, like, I think it was like 30 or 40 centimeters of my colon which was inflamed. So they basically have to cut that part out. And what this means is that you have to walk around with a colostomy bag. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna walk around with a fucking colostomy bag, because I knew, it's gonna sound weird, but I knew that God or universe, whatever you believe in, created us like a whole component with working organs. Like, simply just removing an organ doesn't make any sense. I I get that some diseases you have to do that, and sometimes there is a concept which is called damage done. So basically, sometimes you you can basically damage an organ or a tissue so much that it's kind of irreversible. So I get that, but my point is, I wasn't that damaged, at least not what I thought, and obviously I was right. So yeah, I was kind of panicking at this stage because I didn't want to go into surgery. Like, I've always hated surgeries. I've always hated like hospitals overall. And as I mentioned, my belief system is that I think it's weird if you have to remove a organ or whatnot. So what happened was kind of crazy. After like a week or so, like after his hospital visit, I was doing like intensive research on how I can heal myself. What happened was, I met one of my closest friends at the gym, and I hadn't seen this guy for 2 or 3 months because he was working in another city. He came back, and bro, he was glowing. Like, if I'm gonna explain this to you, imagine the pictures of me that you saw before, and then look at me now. That was the transformation that he had gone through as well. Now, he didn't have acne or whatnot, but he had like dark eye circles. He didn't have this vital life force inside of him. So obviously, I asked him, bro, like, you look amazing. What the fuck have you done? Because he was also muscular. Like, he didn't slack at the gym as well. So I asked him, like, is this some PED? Are you taking some SARM or whatnot? Is it some form of diet? Like, tell me. And he's like, yeah, I'm actually doing this carnivore diet. And I'm like, carnivore diet. Like, I've heard of that one. The one Jordan Peterson did, and Joe Rogan talks about this, and Michaela Peterson and Sean Baker. Like, I have heard all these names, but I didn't know much about the diet itself. I knew you only ate meat, but I didn't know any more info about it. So he tells me about it, and I'm like, that's interesting. So what I do after we met that day, I come home and I do research on the carnivore diet. I try to find autoimmune conditions and autoimmune diseases and carnivore diet resolutions, basically, because I knew that Jordan and his daughter Michaela had the same issues. Like they also had autoimmunity, they had diseases that was apparently irreversible, but then they hopped on this type of diet, and you know, all of a sudden they felt fine. And after 2 weeks, like I'm being serious, for maybe, I had a full-time job, but after that job I would get back home and I would study. I would read anthropology, read books, read studies. I would look at YouTube videos. I would just search on the internet for whatever type of proof I needed, basically. And after 2 weeks, I was like, this is how humans should eat. And I'm like, look, even if this is dangerous, even if cholesterol will kill me, I don't care, because if I have to remove my colon, and if I have to feel this shitty about my life, like I was depressed and whatnot every day, I didn't have any drive. I thought to myself, I might as well try this, you know? Fuck it. So I tried it overnight, like literally overnight. I went cold turkey on everything. And I took these like nicotine pouches, which is called snooze. I think most people know what it is right now. I used to take them. I used to eat junk food. I used to just be so unhealthy, right? Now, quitting all those things overnight and then hopping on the carnivore diet isn't what I would recommend everybody to do, because you have to adjust. But for me, somehow it worked. I don't know how, but somehow it did work, which is crazy. So in 2022, I started the carnivore diet. After 3 months, I got all of these resolutions. My acne was gone, 20-kilo weight loss, no gut issues, no mental health issues. And just thinking about that right now today is insane, honestly, because like imagine 6 years battling with these things and never getting any type of resolution, and just hearing from the doctors and everybody in your family and everybody around you, the mainstream narrative that this is normal. Diseases are normal. You just have to basically adapt to them and take your medication, and that's just how it is. And then after 6 years, finding this and basically becoming a new human being. Like, guys, I'm not trying to brag now, but I just want to show something. Okay, I'm gonna try to make my screen as big as possible. If you look at me now and then look at these two pictures, like this is insane. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to prove to you guys that you can achieve so incredible things if you just know what you're doing. Okay, the thing is, I wasted 6 years of my life to nothing, basically, because I was taught to listen to authority, to listen to doctors. And as I say, I'm not some doctor hating dude. I have a ton of doctors in my family, to be honest. I fucking love them. But the thing is, the mainstream narrative is just so dangerous, because it basically it puts your health in their hands, and their hands can just write you prescriptions. They can't actually help you. So yeah, as I said, just thinking about this is absolutely insane. And what I said in the beginning, with this video not being me bragging or doing this for vanity or showing off, is 100% true. Like, I literally just want this video to reach as many people as possible that are suffering, so they can stop suffering. Because listen, being healthy, being normal, being healthy is a birth given right. You should not be born and become unhealthy and then sick, riddled with disease. Like, that's not normal. It's not normal, and it's not fair. Because like I don't even know what to say. Like, I can talk about this for hours. I'm not gonna rant that much about the whole what's fair and what's not fair. But my point here is just that you guys can change your life, honestly. And I just want to finish this with two things. So the first one is, your body knows best by far. Like, your body will always know best. Basically, the thing I talked about before, your body runs on programs which have been set there by evolution or whatever you believe in. But basically, every species on Earth has different types of bodies with different types of organs and cells that works in unison, and they basically run on programs because that's how they have adapted. Your body is the same. Okay. The second thing that I want to finish with before I end the video is that I do have a link down below to my Calendly. Now, you can book a 50-minute free consultation type of call. It's not really a consultation call, it's more a call where we talk about your issues and I see if I can help you. Before you book, you'll get a questionnaire, which is 5 questions that you have to answer. After these questions, We will talk 15 minutes. If it works, we can work one-on-one. We will talk about the pricing and whatnot. But I can assure you that I'm not going to help you if I know that I can't, resolve your issues. But if you're struggling with anything that I struggled with, acne, skin issues, body recomposition, losing weight, maybe you want to heal some type of medical disease or whatnot, and you want to take the more holistic approach, as I said, I am 100% sure that I can help you. And if I can't, I'm not even going to take you on. So, guys, I just want to thank you so, so much for your time and attention. Make sure to follow me both here on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. It's all linked down below. Take care.